Good evening, everyone. This is Dale Calvert. I'd like to welcome you to the Thursday night No Fluff training webinar. We do these every Thursday night, just about. Appreciate you being here. I know we have a lot of first-time guests with us tonight, and I sincerely appreciate you being here. I respect your time, and I'm not going to waste it. The first thing you should ask yourself before you listen to anybody, in my opinion, is who is this person? And why should I be listening to them? That question would have saved me so much time, energy, and effort over the years. My name is Dale Calvert. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been involved. I started my first business when I was 14 out of my parents' home. It was a direct mail business. At age 20, I got involved in the network marketing business. I wanted to quit my first 3 years every single day, very frustrated. Finally, after 3 years, a lot of things came together for me at the same time, and I know today it was because when I started in the industry, I had the opportunity to listen to audio cassettes on a Walkman for 8 to 10 hours a day on my regular full-time job. It took me 5 years to leave my full-time job at IBM in Lexington, Kentucky. My ninth year, I finally got to $92,000 a year. Don't hang up yet. My 10th year jumped to 252, my 11th year 1.1 million, my 13th year 3.3 million, my 14th year 3.8 million. When I was 39, I retired from building teams, and for multiple reasons that I've talked about on many webinars. I believe that network marketing is the greatest opportunity in the world for average people with above average desire and the willingness to be teachable to build total financial independence and even generational wealth. I believe that. I also believe that in network marketing, the real product is people. And if you develop people and you build people and you spend your time into building teams, that's how you build long-term residual income. And so that's where I'm coming from. You can learn more than you would ever want to know at MLMhelp.com. There's a DVD there you can access online called The Power of a Dream. Now, every now and then in a marketer's career, we all need to just stop, kind of take a breath. And that's kind of the thought process behind tonight's webinar, because the internet has changed marketing and business forever. And I'm going to cover some things tonight. I'm going to share with you five concepts, ideas that I think will really help right now wherever you are, whatever type of business you're involved in. And I'm going to suggest that tonight you don't take notes, because I'm going to give you access to the overheads. I'll give you access to every overhead when we're done. And I think it's going to be in your best interest just to listen and think and ponder a little bit and just kind of ask yourself a lot of important questions about you, where you are, your business. It's been said that the quality of our lives and our businesses are in direct proportion to the quality of questions that we ask ourselves and then answer them truthfully. In 1999, most people didn't even have an email address still, and myself and a couple of my team members, Roger and Sean and myself, did a all-day training, all day. We recorded the whole thing, and it was called the MLM Rhythm for the New Millennium. And we talked about the impact the internet was going to have on all business and network marketing. And there's several rubs in today's market as it relates to network marketing, but you cannot build a network marketing organization following the latest, greatest marketing online ideas and techniques. You can build virtually every other business that you can think of that's marketing a product or service. If you're a plumber, if you're an electrician, if you sell cookies in a retail store, I mean, whatever you do, you can use the internet strategically to expand and grow your business because you're selling a product or service. And this is really important, guys, because I've talked about this a lot, but I really feel like most people hear me, but they don't really hear what I'm trying to communicate here. So I really want to communicate a few points tonight, and the first one is with the network marketing business model. The real product is people. Your goal is to develop a well-trained organization of people. Your long-term income potential is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that you develop on your team. And I know some of you have heard me say that, 100 times. And I just want to do my best tonight to really communicate that, because I think so many times people go down these roads where they're going to do this or do that or do the other thing so they can create customers. And customers are awesome. You have to have customers to have a real business. But in network marketing, my feeling, the only reason to get someone started on the product is to ultimately expose them to the business. And some of you are in situations where, you sell a product for $40 and you make $11 or whatever on that sale through your bonus structure or however it's set up in different companies, and you make $11 and you get really fired up about the $11, and there's nothing wrong with that. But guys, if you're going to be chasing $11 over and over and over, you're missing the point of what this business model is really all about. It's about building a team. The only reason to get the product in the marketplace, not the only reason, but the most important reason, is so you can ultimately expose them to the opportunity. Some of your best people will be people that got sold out on your products first. Now, and again, I'm going to kind of be bouncing a little bit tonight. We're in a situation right now, literally, where our brains have not evolved to the point that we can keep up with the technology. Technology is moving so fast that our brains have not evolved to the point where we can keep up. I heard some researcher in the last couple of weeks, and he said, he can envision a time when basically and he was being serious, where we hook our brains to the cloud, to the internet, to the information in the internet. And I've heard other people say, really in 15, 20 years, we're all going to be half robot. And again, maybe so, maybe not. It doesn't really matter, but I do know that this is affecting all of us in many, many different ways. And I believe we got to really stop. Some people have to stop right now and control it, get control if we expect to move forward, especially in the network marketing business, but in all businesses. I actually caught some of 60 Minutes this week, and they were talking to Bill Gates. And this wasn't that long ago. I can't remember the year when they were talking to him, but they flashed back, and he said, one day we will all be communicating with electronic mail, not postal mail, electronic mail. And like that was big news, that was like, and some of us can remember, and we go back when the AOL days, and some of us remember before AOL, but some of us remember that you've got mail. And so now email, the open rates have drastically increased. Most people are opening email with their finger on the delete button. So everything's evolving and changing, and we got to be aware of where things are. When Google introduced AdWords, when it was rolled out in 2000, there was 350 advertisers when they first started. There's, that's increased 1,000%. But some of us have seen all this, have seen these progressions. And I think sometimes we just need to stop. And here's one of the main points that I want to communicate. And not only as individuals, but we have to understand everybody is well, not everybody, but the smart thing to do is always ask yourself, who, what should I pay attention to? Who and what should I pay attention to? And researchers tell us that the average American now, we are exposed to 4,000 to 10,000 advertisements daily. Now, I think it's important that we're aware of that, because in 1970 they were saying that the average American was over-flooded, just flooded with billboards and all these different, and we're exposed to 500 different ads a day. Now it's estimated 4,000 to 10,000. So my point on this particular segment tonight, something to be very aware of, is number one, that's you, that's me. It's constant ads, constant everywhere. You can't go anywhere. Some of you will know, some of you men will know, you can't go into a restaurant and go into the restroom without an ad staring at you when you're in front of the urinal. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just everywhere, bombarded. So I could go on and on. I don't have to. You guys know it. I know it. What we need to become aware of is that's us. That's why we should always ask, who is this person and why should I be listening to them? Always. But more importantly, you have to understand, those of you that are recruiting and creating customers for your business, that's also your potential customer or team member. They're being bombarded daily. And we just have to be aware of the environment that we're working in today. I love this. This is one of our MLM Training Club members, Neil. I think this was today or maybe yesterday. And I told him I'm going to use this on the webinar. I'm sure he's with us tonight. But he said these are the weapons of mass distraction. And that really says it all from our standpoint, and understanding it's not just us, it's everybody, and it's all of our potential customers and team members, are depending on what kind of business that you're in. We live in a world where people are just constantly interrupting and distracting us. Dawn was showing me tonight, she said this picture has been shared or liked more than any picture in the history of Instagram. She was showing me tonight, and it was Beyonce, and it looked like she had my grandmother's drapes, some lime green drapes that used to be on my grandmother's windows, draped over her head. I didn't pay a lot of attention to it, and this has nothing to do with Beyonce or anybody else. I mean, personally, if I can name on one hand the people that I would walk up the block in my street to go to a free concert. Okay, so it has nothing to do with any particular artist, but it's just amazing to me. Well, I'm not gonna, but you guys kind of get the picture. That's the world we live in. That's the world we live in. All this has happened in the last 10 years. YouTube, podcast, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You can't even go get gas at a gas station without them showing you some kind of advertising video. So we're bombarded with it, bombarded. And the thing that's disturbing to me is there seems to be a mainstream thought that I believe is totally skewed, that's trying to teach people to build their brand before they build their business. And call me crazy, but especially as it relates to network marketing or any other entrepreneurial endeavor where you have the gall to try to teach somebody else how to do something, I believe it's a good idea if you've done it yourself before you try to teach other people. I just believe that. And again, daily, I talk with people that have just spent countless number of hours trying to do things to build their brand and have never been taught how to actually build their business. And I understand branding, especially if you have a product to sell. I get that. If you have you have a Christmas tree ornament business, I get that. I get that in traditional business, but network marketing is a different business model, and we have to get real convicted and grounded in that if we're going to move our business forward. And unfortunately, all these ads and this bombarding of ads, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. Some of you have heard me talk about, in a few years, people are going to put their goggles on and they're going to see a live opportunity overview right in their living room. I mean, that's the world we're living in, and it's the virtual reality is going to be the next wave in our world and in marketing, and it's just coming. And I can't predict it. I don't study it. I just know that there's no question about it. We saw these goggles being advertised. You probably saw it on TV during this holiday season. Wait till next holiday season, and wait till the one after that. So that's where we're living. The internet has become social media. Social media is going to ultimately will be second place to virtual reality, and who knows what's after that. So it's just being aware of where we're at. So when we stop and think about how most people allow their day to be filled with ongoing, constant interruptions, no wonder we feel overwhelmed and in a constant state of information overload. And our to-do list a lot of times ends up like this, where we've spent the day, but we haven't really moved forward in our business. We haven't really done what we were planning on doing because we allow constant interruptions every day, and there's multiple ways for us to be interrupted. So again, understanding this as a consumer and as a marketer, understanding both ends, understanding just because you put something on Facebook, or you just because you did something particular to promote your business, doesn't mean that you'll get anybody's attention just because you did it. Those of you that have gone through, how to launch your business, some of you have heard me say that direct mail today is more giving a better result than at any time in the history of network marketing. And some of you can remember when every day you went to your mailbox and there was 3 or 4 different postcards from 3 or 4 different opportunities. Some of you are as old as I am. You remember that. And it went from our mailbox to our email box. And now the trend, in my opinion, and what we're seeing, it's back. Smart people are going back to the postal mailbox. And again, you can't just send a letter with a address label attached to the front and a stamp or a printed envelope that says, so and so consulting and your address, because people still, and they will continue to open their mail over their trash basket. They grab their mail, they go to the trash basket, and half of it goes directly into the trash without ever being looked at or opened. Okay, but if you send a fluorescent envelope and a handwritten address, not a peel and stick label, and it's hand addressed, it's going to get opened. There's no question about that. It's going to be opened. And I could go on and on. That's not the topic tonight. But the real topic is awareness, being aware, and being as smart as you can and valuing your time. We live in a world where it's really, really cool to be an entrepreneur. It's really cool. Everybody wants, there's an entrepreneurial revolution happening around the world. And I've talked about this in the past and some of the reasons behind it. And a lot of it has to do with some of the, there's multiple reasons, but there's no question we're in a world of entrepreneurism. People are excited about being an entrepreneur. It's cool to be an entrepreneur. And in my opinion, the network marketing business model should be at the top of the heap, leading the trend, and it's not. It's the most exciting time in the world to be an entrepreneur, especially if you have a product or service to promote, because you can get your product and service in front of the exact audience that you want to, if you have a product to sell. In network marketing, it's the best of times, and it's also the worst of times. I just think you're going to see a major separation from people with leadership titles and people with real leaders who've developed other people, who've developed other leaders, and people that just have a title. I just think it's happening. It's coming. It has to come. It's going to continue to come. Again, because the real product is people. Your go is a well-trained distributor. Now, I want to share with you all something tonight, and I want you to really hear what I'm saying, because this is real important. If you say, well, Dale, I think this, and Dale, I think that, and what. If you believe that your long-term income is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that you develop on your team, which I know it is, then I want you to really hear what I'm saying. I talk with somebody. I'm going to share with you two things. One, I hadn't planned on it. But I talked with someone this week that got involved with the company, loved the products, really got excited about the products, got excited about the business. The person that sponsored this particular person was just a product user. They were not interested in the business at all. This person went out there into the market and produced a six-figure income just with natural God-given talent, skills, and abilities. Y'all have heard me talk about this many times. I talk about it in detail in the Masses booklet. And then, as it normally always happens, people get to a full-time income, and instead of doubling that income or tripling that income or 10 times that income, and the way to do that is through developing other people. It's not, y'all have heard me say, full-time income earners, $10,000 a month income earners in the network marketing profession are a dime a dozen. It's not about getting there. It's about staying there after you get there, because most of the people that get to that income level within 5 years are out of the business. It's sad. It's horrifying. The industry should be outraged at that, but we just kind of accept it for what it is. So anyway, I was doing an event, and there was about 400 people there. And I asked the people that have been around 10 years or longer to stand. In my estimation, it was about 35% of the crowd, which I thought was pretty high. And then I asked them, I said, how many of you, if you were honest, would tell me you don't really have 10 years, you have one bad year, repeat it 10 times, and they all laughed, thankfully. And then I said, how many of you have been involved in the network marketing business model 3 years or less? And my estimation, it was about 65%. It was the vast majority. And then this is what I want you to hear, because I believe you can do this in any crowd of any 400 plus people in any company in the entire profession. And I want you to hear what I'm saying. And then I said, so those of you that have been involved at least 4 years, between 4 and 9 years, I want you to please stand up. Those that have been involved in the network marketing profession between 4 and 9 years. There was 11 people. 1, 11. To me, that's horrifying, because there's no profession in the world where you can put 400 people in a room, and you name it, I don't care what it is, small business owners, realtors, insurance agents, you name the business, restaurant owners, name it, it doesn't matter. There's no profession, business model in the world where you can put 400 people in the room and you're looking at those kind of numbers. Where are the future leaders in this industry? Where are they? Where are the 4 to 9 year people? Why don't people make it? And again, guys, that's what it's because they bought the wrong philosophy. It's not about you, your income, your BV, your check next month. It's about building teams of people. So I just needed to share that with you. I challenge anybody in any company to take a group of people, that many people, and you're going to see similar numbers, because for the last 15 years, our focus has been on recruiting each other. 5 concepts. I'm going to cover these quickly tonight. 5. There's many successful entrepreneurs, salespeople, managers, and small business owners that fail in network marketing every single year. And, network marketing, this business model is the greatest in the world, but it's not for everybody. So, again, as an entrepreneur, decide what's important for you. What is important for you? It's not what it's supposed to be important. What is really important? And success is living your life working towards worthy goals. Once you reach those goals, you're no longer a success unless you set new ones. There's 7 key areas of life: family, financial, career, spiritual, social, physical, mental. And at any time in any given day, I think a great question to ask yourself is what I am doing right now moving me forward toward one of my top 3 goals. Those of you that are members of the training club, I talk about 20 reasons, top 3. You're with me on that. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. Until you know why, the how doesn't matter. And is what I'm doing right now moving me towards one of my top 3 goals? And then ask yourself, is it really? Is it really? And if it's not, why are you doing it? If it's not, why are you doing it? Always ask yourself, who's this person? Why should I be listening to them? And I've added something tonight that you've never heard me say before. But why am I listening to them right now? Right now. And again, this goes back to control your interruptions. And I want to share with you guys something. I'd mentioned this probably in passing, but I think it's time. You guys, I want you to be aware of this, because I'm like you. I get a lot of emails every day from people that I respect, and from time to time I'll run across articles and information that I know, based upon what I'm wanting to do over the next 3, 4, 5 years, that there's going to be a time in the future where this information is going to be valuable to me. And I've been involved in business long enough where there's nothing more frustrating to me than know I read something somewhere at some time and now I can't find it when I need it. And some of you might feel like that. So I just want to share with you a program, a website. It's a free service. I've been using it for a couple, 3 years. It's called Evernote. And if I run across information that I think, this might be valuable in the future, then I'll copy the URL and I just put it in Evernote. But I don't take 7, 8, 10 minutes to read it right now if it's not something that, see, I believe in the just-in-time learning concept. I believe at any given time we need to be focused on learning something specifically. And I believe 30 days of concentrated effort on any subject, I believe if you read 5 books on any topic, then you're going to know more than 90% of the population on that particular subject. If you take some time and you read the 5 books and you study it, then you're going to get a very clear understanding and perspective most of the time. So Evernote is a great little program. I don't even know it's a website that allows you to keep all your personal notes. The other good thing about this is if your computer crashes, talked to one of our Leadership Development Academy members last week, and his computer had totally crashed, and he couldn't access anything. And if you have your passwords and you have everything in Evernote, then even if your computer crashes, all you have to do is get on the internet and log into your Evernote account, and you can pull up every password and everything else that you store there. Years ago, I developed a software called Affiliate, what was that business? Affiliate Records, I think, where people that are involved in affiliate programs where you just kept your links and your username and your password for different affiliate programs, Affiliate Records. And we ended up selling that, but we had the whole software developed, and it's basically Evernote does what that service used to do, because you can add anything there. You can add videos, anything you want to add, and I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's a very, very valuable tool. Okay, again, network marketing is not for everybody. Your long-term income potential is a direct proportion to the number of leaders you develop on your team, and if you don't really believe that, then honestly, I can't help you. Don't waste another second on this webinar because I'm not going to be able to help you. Our training is for long-term career-minded network marketing leaders. That's my focus. That's just my focus. I understand that distributors are coming and going all the time, and all different companies are a revolving door, and developed leadership stays. And I also understand that leadership moves products. Leadership creates volume. Distributors come and go through the revolving door. That's just the way it's set up. And I understand that companies are constantly giving distributors, I call them little red wagons, new little red wagons to play with so they can get excited about this, that, or the other thing for 90 days or 4 or 5 months. But it's like it's a constant game. And the smart thing for companies to do is just stop and say, you know what, we need to develop homegrown leaders, because if we can develop homegrown leaders, people who believe in our products, believe in our corporate officers, believe in what we're doing, how we're doing it, and we develop them and bring them up through the ranks, they'll be with us. They'll create lifetime residual income and the opportunity to pass that income down to their children and create generational wealth. Again, it's not for everybody. There's a false definition of leadership that has been accepted and propagated throughout the network marketing business model. All those with titles and big commissions are considered to be leaders. That's not true. And again, I've talked about this. I've talked about the 6 different types of leaders at the top of virtually every company. I did a podcast. I think it's up now. It's called The Seventh Leader. The Seventh Leader. I think it's on the No Fluff podcast, The Seventh Leader. And I get into more detail if you haven't heard me talk about this in the past. Bottom line, truth, Brian Tracy says it the best. The best leaders don't create followers, they create leaders. They don't create their brand, they create leaders. If somebody's teaching you to act like something you're not, run. Run. I talk about this in great detail. If you have not heard number 40 of the No Fluff podcast, please listen to that, please. I love Abraham Lincoln. I love his wisdom. Abraham Lincoln said it's better to remain silent and be thought of as a fool than to open one's mouth and remove all doubt. Most of what's being taught today is from the paradigm of recruiting other network marketers. I wrote an article about this, so you can see the URL there. But that's the paradigm in which the industry, and I'll call it the trap that the industry has fallen into. And you see this corporately, you see companies and their promotional video online is geared not towards the career frustrated manager in corporate America or the small business owner that's working 16 hours a day. It's geared towards other network marketers. That's the slant. And if we're constantly just recruiting each other from deal to deal, that's why you end up with that's why you end up with the 4 to 9 year people are basically non-existent, because at some point they figure out what's really going on and they'd say, you know what, this business model's not for me. And see, I think it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Number one is always ask yourself, who is this person? Why should I be listening to them? Number 2 is accept. Accept. You cannot escape the grind. You've got to launch it. It takes all the effort in the beginning to get the thing moving forward and getting it off the ground. That's the most difficult part in launching any business, and especially the network marketing business. And you know, my grind was 3 years. And when I say 3 years, it wasn't 3 years checking to see what Beyonce is wearing on Instagram and all this other stuff. It was a focused 3 years of doing what would move my business forward. Focused grind. And once you get past the grind, you will move into a growth stage. And the growth is awesome. And again, growth in different business models are different. In network marketing, if you build it right, duplication should go on and 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 on after you're gone, if it's being built upon systems and not personalities. And ultimately, the only reason to start a business is to, I read years ago, the only reason to start a business is to sell it. And in network marketing, most people, you put your heart and soul in it, you're not going to sell it, but you do want to be able to exit. And what I mean by exit is you go do whatever you want to do. Systematically, your business continues to move forward, and you can go do what you want to do and come to a couple of conferences a year and enjoy the people and enjoy the fruits of your labor. But you can, you don't want to have to be doing it for the rest of your life, the rest of your career. You want to create an exit strategy. And again, I've talked about that on different webinars. I love this quote. Lori Grenier from Shark Tank. He said, entrepreneurs are willing to work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40 hours a week. I love that quote. And most network marketers need to build their business between 6 in the evening and 2 a.m. And, you have to get really good when you're part-time, and most people start part-time. And you should stay part-time until you're making at least $1,000 more a month than you are in your full-time profession. It's my opinion. At least $1,000 or more a month with your part-time gig than you are with your full-time job. Good people go full-time too soon, and it creates a whole different type of stress that's unnecessary. And I talk about this again in detail. There's a webinar just on time management for network marketers. It's at MLMhelp.com. Number 3, you have to value your time. Most new entrepreneurs undervalue their time. And a great question is, who are you giving your time to every day? It's not about how much time you spend on your business. It's not about how much time you think you're spending on your business. I'm keep practicing, Dale. I just keep grinding. I keep working at it. Practice doesn't make perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. You have to be doing what's important to move your business forward. And if what you're doing cannot ultimately be taught to somebody else, duplication will stop immediately. Grinding doesn't entitle you to success. It just puts you in the game. Grinding, working hard, does not entitle you to success. All it does, it just puts you in the game. I mean, working hard should be just a given for entrepreneurs. There's no participation trophies in business. There's no participation trophies. It doesn't matter how hard you work. I've seen many hard-working people fail. Hard-working, and they just fail miserably in the network marketing profession. Because, Dale, I'm a small business owner. I've been very successful doing this. Dale, I've been a professional salesperson for this. Look, it's a different game. This is a different game. Dale, I was so successful in corporate America. You don't understand. So what? Wake up. Wake up. There's no entitlement trophies here. It's a different game. It's a different game because it requires not just skill sets, but also mindsets. And it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about you or me or anybody else. It's about how many people can you help move forward down the road. That's the game. That is the game here. And because this is not just 2 + 2 is 4, because we don't understand as an industry that this is the game, just like we understand 2 + 2 is 4, because we don't understand. Is I told somebody today, I said, when Zig Ziglar said you can have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want, he meant it. He actually meant it. It wasn't just a cool phrase. That's the game in network marketing. And it's like, if you don't know the game, if you don't know the rules, how can you expect to win when you don't know the rules? And again, it's not about how much money you make. It's not. The most miserable people in network marketing are the ones that are making a full-time income and their entire team is starving to death. You must stop your search for tips, tricks, funnels, and hacks as soon as you possibly can. I talk about this in the MLMsuccess.com podcast number 36. It's not about tips, tricks. It's about systems, because systems can be duplicated, as franchises have proven to us and shown us. It's systems. It's not about your individual work ethic. It's not about your individual credibility. It's not about your individual business mind. It's not about anything other than what can be duplicated by the 27 percenters. There ain't no foo-foo dust. There ain't no foo-foo dust, just proven wisdom of the ages. Principles that work for everyone that put them into action. Many network marketers are just too busy building their business to build their business. Here's my man Abe again. He said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I'll spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Mark Cuban, and he talked about how do you become successful in business. He says it comes down to finding something you love to do, and then just trying to be great at it. Great at it. There's a lot of people that love a lot of the aspects of network marketing and the friendships you develop and the personal growth, but they're just trying to make money at it. They're not trying to be great at it. There's a difference. There's a difference. Become great at developing teams, great at building people, the money's going to come. If you chase the money, you never catch it. You can't focus on the money. You have to focus on developing yourself first, developing teams. The money flows. You can't stop it. Number 4, decide what kind of business you're in. So some of you listen to me tonight, you don't know if you're an affiliate marketer, if you're an email marketer, if you're an internet marketer, if you're a network marketer, if you're an eBay seller, if you're a real estate. You don't know what you're doing. You're so scattered that, what is that, jack of all trades and master of none? So decide what kind of business you're in, and it doesn't matter to me what you decide. It's your decision. But whatever it is, master it. Master at it. Master it. Become great at it before you diversify. And, it sounds really good, but many network marketers are trapped because they've been given the Kool-Aid of multiple streams of income. And ultimately, what that does, it stifles them from reaching their full potential because they never master it. They never master the network marketing business model. Once you master it, then you can diversify into multiple ways or any other business model. Master it. I remember years ago, someone at a seminar I attended live, he says, people, they start making money in one business model, and then they start driving by old gas stations thinking they would make great Dairy Queens. And I've had very, very personal one-on-one experience watching this happen to a partner, making great money and then deciding, I'm going to get in the horse business, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and my wife's going to do antique shops and all this other stuff. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. I can show you a 30-some thousand square foot home that was never finished, maybe built 30% of the way. It's bricked, never finished. Because, say, well, Dale, why? Because, they thought, well, I've made money here, so now I can go out half-cocked without the education, and, I can have a horse in the Kentucky Derby and get my picture taken in the winner's circle. It's a weird combination of greed and ego and ignorance. And I could go on and on. I'm not going to. But I see a lot of people in network marketing, especially newbies, and they're trying to do affiliate promotions, or trying to do this, or trying to do that, and their whole focus is on just making money, and they end up not doing anything at the level they could because they never take the time to try to become great at their chosen business model. Only 5 core, this is number 5. There's only 5 core systems. Memorize them. Memorize them. There's the URL. Any activity outside of these is a waste of time. Unless unless you are ready to exit. If you're ready to exit, do whatever you want to do. Learn whatever you want to learn. If everything's duplicating without you and moving forward, and you're ready to exit, hey, that's awesome. If you're not, anything that you're doing outside business-wise, outside of these fundamentals is a waste of time. Now, I'm going to share something with you right now. Some of you are asleep. Wake up. This is important. Those of you that are waking up that have been on other webinars, you've heard this a dozen times, but I'm going to share with you something you've never seen. Launch your business, customer acquisition with a referral system, 2-step recruiting process, distributor retention program. It's not just about getting them in, it's keeping them in and helping them move forward. And then lead generation, which is ongoing. It's a constant evolution because technology creates new ways to generate leads. But every new way that's generated, it does not neglect or alleviate, or it doesn't mean that other systems of the past are no longer valid. They're as valid as they ever have been, because ultimately we're all looking for the right person at the right time in their life. Here's the rub. These are the 5 fundamentals of building a team, the 5 systems. You master these 5 systems, you can go as far as you ever want to go, I promise. Here's the rub. Here's the rub. You have to be competent right here. Lead generation. To be able to master 2, 3, and 4. See, if you don't have enough potential prospects, then you cannot do weekly your perfect practice, which ultimately creates perfection. Practice doesn't create perfect. Perfect practice creates perfect. And I want you to get this, so let's slow down and just get away from it. I really want you to, this is important, guys, that you understand this. See, launch your business. That's, as a leader, that's your responsibility with every new person that you enroll, or that enrolls on your team, is to help them effectively stack the odds in their favor from day one when they launch their business. It's so important, the launch. And in my estimation, 95% of the people that have joined a network marketing organization in the last 15 years never really launched their business. They joined, they started using the products, and they were hoping to run into an old classmate at the post office, or they start spamming Facebook or something. An effective launch is your responsibility as a leader. Now, you have to have enough leads coming in before you'll ever be able to master customer acquisition, recruiting, and then if you don't have any people on your team, then there's nobody to retain because you have nobody. So, you know, well, I can't implement the retention system, Dale, because I don't have anybody to quit. I don't have anybody that have the 90-day slump, everything that we talk about. And this is the rub. I'm aware of it. You need to be aware of it. So you have to get good at 5 before you can get good at 2, 3, and 4. You have to get proficient at 5 before you can master 2, 3, and 4. And I hope this is making sense, because I'm going to continue on this line of thought for a second. But this is important. So again, lead generation, you got to master the 5 core fundamentals with the understanding that lead generation is a constant evolution. A constant evolution. It's all numbers, and again, you have to get that concept from your head to your heart. It's not about closing, it's not about convincing, it's about getting through the numbers so you can find the right people at the right time in their life. You must generate enough numbers to consistently sponsor 3 to 5 new people a month. I'm going to say that one more time. Your goal is to generate enough numbers, and by numbers we just call it leads, to consistently sponsor 3 to 5 new people a month. And again, I've already shared with you what we're competing with, the 4,000 to 10,000 advertising messages that your potential customers and team members are bombarded with daily. And you're going to hear me talk a lot more about this in 2017, because I'm really trying to test out as far outside the box as I can get, because I know that this slide is absolutely, positively one of the most important truths of this business. And for some of you, that 3 to 5 a month, Dale, that's how in the world could anybody ever do that? Look, it's very discouraging, because some people say, Dale, I've been involved 90 days, I've only sponsored one person, and all this. Okay, all right, but you know what? I get it, but you're not supposed to be able to do it with the skill sets and the mindsets that you enter the industry with. It took me 3 years to develop the skill sets and the mindsets to where I could start to move forward. A lot of work, a lot of grind. This is not well, I'm involved and I'm working hard, so therefore I deserve success. No, you don't. I was lousy in the beginning. I was lousier than anybody I've ever talked to. But you don't have to stay lousy. You can continue to get better and improve your skill sets and mindsets. So, you can take information and use it to empower you or use it to discourage you, and that's a whole different conversation. So I know some of you read this, I'm discouraged, Dale. Well, get your thumb out of your mouth. This is the real world. It's business. Okay? It's business. You can become better. You can become awesome. You can become awesome. You can become awesome. But it's not just going to happen by accident. It's not the lottery. It takes focused energy, effort, dedication. When you do this, when you get your skill sets and your mindsets and your activity level to a point that you're recruiting 3 to 5 new people monthly, I can virtually guarantee you will control your own destiny with the network marketing business model. Say, Dale, how do I went through a time and place where I said, I don't like this business because my success depends upon other people, and I'm just going to do something where my success just depends upon me. And if that's where you want to live, I understand that. Been there myself. I was there. And that's why I say, look, if you just want to go out and sell something, sell yachts or something that you can create a high commission on. If you just want to build your entrepreneurial business around you and your own personal efforts. But J. Paul Getty said it best. I'd rather earn 1% on 100 people's efforts than 100% on my own efforts. Wealth is created when you can figure out how to duplicate your efforts through other people. That's a law. That's a law. If it all depends on you, that's not a place that I personally want to be. If it's where you want to be, I've been there. I understand. I mean, after my first 5 years in the network marketing, when I lost 4 key people in 1 month, because of the way the whole structure was set up at that time with the stair-step breakaways, and we basically had little product warehouses in our office, in our homes. I mean, you know, I said, I'm never doing this again. I'm done. I'm selling my distributorship. I'm gone. I'm out of here. Okay, so I've been there. But here's what I would tell you. If you get your skill sets and your mindsets and your activity level doing the right things to where you can recruit 3 to 5 people a month, and everybody listening to my voice tonight can do that. Probably, you know, if you're not doing it now, and some of you are, but if you're not doing it now, everybody can get there. There's nobody that can't get to that level. And if you get to that level, you can guarantee you can control your own destiny in a network marketing business model. Because if you have those type of numbers, then you can get really, really good at 2, 3, and 4 on the 5 core fundamentals of building a team. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense for you. That's where your focus should be daily, working towards the 3 to 5. And again, I mean, we talk about lead generation till we're blue in the face. Most all these courses are closed right now. We're going to be opening the local MLM Leads program, I'm hoping within 90 days. And it's on me. It's not on anybody else. It's just me being able to do what I need to do. I've got great people that are waiting on me, which I like. But there's all kinds of ways to create leads. And if you're just dependent upon 1 or 2 ways to generate leads, you're never going to get to 3 to 5 a month. You have to have multiple ways that you're generating leads, multiple. Create an advertising budget. I believe a percent of your profits percent of your profits should be used every month for personal education and for advertising. That's what I believe. Be careful where you invest your advertising dollars. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I met a friend of mine today at Starbucks. We meet a couple times a year. Been around the network marketing industry a long, long time. Very intelligent guy. Ron Henley. Some of you have heard Ron in the webinar that he and I did called A Critical Message to Network Marketing Pros. And I said, Ron, have you ever known anybody that's ever built a business from buying leads? He said, Dale, I can't name one person. I said, I can't either. And I know there's a lot of people pitching it because they're selling lead programs, but I've never met one. So be careful where you spend your money. Be careful and ask intelligent questions. And especially if somebody's in your company, and they're selling leads to people in your company. So you're an XYZ company and you got some self-proclaimed guru saying who's also in XYZ company, and she's saying, look, I'll sell you 100 leads a month or 50 leads a month or whatever, and you know, out of every 100 leads, you know, with the fast start bonuses, you're going to make $170. And again, I'm pulling these numbers out of the air. I'm just trying to make a point here. If that was true, why would she sell the leads to you? If she's in your company, why doesn't she just do that and she make the $70? So, guys, a lot of times you ask very intelligent questions that make total logical sense, but just because a self-proclaimed guru says do this doesn't mean it's valid. And it's okay to question. It's okay to question. I don't care who they are. It's okay. Now, I don't want to get in detail here. We're testing all this constantly. Still testing. Still don't feel like I can promise you I don't know enough about this to be teaching it. As it relates to network marketing and recruiting, I can tell you from a product sales standpoint, during the last quarter of the year, this was awesome. But this is just straight talk, just something to consider. And again, be very careful where you invest money and who you invest it with. Be very careful, because there's a lot of people out there that are selling $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 Facebook courses that are awesome if you're selling a physical product or marketing a service. But you're not doing that in network marketing. You're recruiting people and developing teams. So you got to get that distinction tonight. And if you don't really have that in your brain, I understand if you don't, because it's a hard distinction, but you have to get it. So go back through this information and understand when somebody says, I'm going to show you how to do this on Pinterest, I'm going to show you how to do this on all that, nothing wrong. But understand that the network marketing business model is different. It's not about just selling products, because, I mean, Don and I are involved in businesses where we're just selling products, building customer base. We're doing that. We don't have to develop people. We don't have to teach people. We don't have to train people. We don't, none of that. We're selling products through our own websites, and we're creating leads and customers multiple different ways. And one of those is through Facebook. And, I believe right now, Facebook is a pretty good bang for your buck as far as targeted, local paid ads. And there's just an example of a gentleman that we work with, Brian, awesome guy, Brian Perkheiser. And he's in Washington State, and you can see it says Washington State Entrepreneur Seeks Apprentice with Leadership and Management Potential. And then what is his market? Is he trying to go after network marketers? Is he going after the network marketing junkie crowd? No. Are you career frustrated, underemployed? We are adding to our team in 2017, seeking entrepreneur-minded self-starters who are ready to earn what they're worth. And that's just something we've tested, and we're testing multiple different things right now on Facebook and Pinterest and some other platforms, YouTube as well. This is Franthina, who's a former WNBA player, former WNBA star. Franthina Price is expanding her business team in Detroit. If you're career frustrated and looking for a change, check out her website. Non-threatening, So again, guys, I'm just saying it's worth experimenting with. I am not the expert. I will say this, in all lead generation, follow-up is more important than the initial contact. So again, my feeling is a lot of good people are caught in the rub right now. A lot of good people are caught in the rub. They're not getting in front of enough people to master customer acquisition, the two-step recruiting process, or the distributor retention program. And everything you do on a daily basis, you should ask yourself, is this helping me create more potential team members or customers? And if it's not, why am I doing it? From a business perspective. Understand the rub. And see, a lot of people feel the rub and they get frustrated because they really don't understand what's going on. And I just wanted to try to communicate this at a different level tonight. And the two things that I wanted to really communicate tonight was this right here, and the fact that just because somebody was able to do something with this particular business model, look, if you want to start your own Shopify store and sell your own products, I can tell you who I believe is the best at that and who you should learn from. If you want to learn how to write great ad copy, I can tell you who I believe is the best at that and who you should learn from, or any other entrepreneurial subject. Because I mean, I'm in this mode all the time. But you got to decide what kind of business you're in. When a lead's generated, the phone scripts are basically the same. I think it's real important that network marketers understand every year it will take more numbers to create the same results that you did the previous year. And that's in network marketing, but it's in all business models. Why? Because people are exposed to massive advertising daily. Massive. So that's the world we live in today as entrepreneurs. I want to mention one more thing. Congruent tools locally. I sincerely believe that it's more important today to build a strong local team. I believe those that focus on building a strong local team and let your business grow organically because they have an uncle, you know, you're in Cincinnati, they have an uncle in Houston who has a Army buddy in Utah who has a grandson in Tennessee. And I believe by building a strong local team, you will build a nationwide and ultimately a worldwide organization. And I believe those who focus on building strong local teams are going to have a distinct advantage in the future. And I just needed to, and which brings me to this point. If many of you are focused on building strong local teams, does that mean, Dale, I shouldn't be doing Instagram ads or whatever? No, absolutely not. But when you build strong local teams, everybody should be wearing the exact same button. Everybody should be using the exact same bandit signs. Everybody should be using the same bulletin board flyers. Everybody should be using the same sunshades in your car with the ad for your product on it. Everything that we teach, it needs to be congruent. And the reason is they see somebody wearing the button at the basketball game. They see somebody wearing the button at the dance recital. They see another person wearing the button walking through Home Depot. At some point, they're going to say, why do I keep seeing this button? What is this all about? Okay, especially in smaller towns, but even in communities. Okay, when you're congruent, it makes so much sense. You know, you don't want 20 people in your community on your team all doing 20 different bandit signs or 20 different buttons. Make sense? And don't get caught up in one or two lead generation programs. Implement at least one new lead generation method every single month. Your goal should be to be a master at lead generation, a master at it. And see, there's some things that you'll do that will create maybe 8 or 10 leads a year, and some will create 8 or 10 leads a month. And the goal is to create, you know, the number of leads that you need to create based upon your skill set, based upon your play one, play two, that will allow you to recruit 3 to 5 new people a month so you can control your destiny in this profession. It's a tough business, guys. It's not for everybody, but it's worth it. But I promise you, you know, everything that we teach, everything, I'm not going to waste my breath and your time. And it all works together. And the longer you hang out, and the longer you're around, and the longer you implement, everything starts coming together. And it's happening for many of you. And I'm excited for you. Because, again, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste your time. Okay? 70% of the population are going to die with their music still in them. And the sad but true fact is, some people can earn a six-figure income just blowing and going with the skill sets and mindsets they enter the industry with. Some people can. Network marketing is one of the only professions where some people can actually open a practice and start making money from day one. It's the great part about this industry. It's why it survived. But the rub is the people that can do that. The only way they have a chance in the world to grow is to find other people that can do it. And the masses, the 27%ers, are going to be confused. 2017 needs to be a year of focus. Always ask yourself, who's this person? Why am I listening to them? Number two, you have to really be truthful. Are you willing to grind? Because you cannot escape it. Number three, you must continue to put a higher and higher value on your own time and who has the right to interrupt you and who doesn't. Decide what kind of business you're in and master it before diversifying. Become great at it, as Mark Cuban said. And number five, master the five core systems, and you will go as far as you want to go in the network marketing business model. And you have to put heavy emphasis on creating enough leads that will allow you to enroll 3 to 5 new members a month. I hope this has made sense for you. I appreciate you being with me tonight. You get the replay. Scott will let you guys in the mmtrainingclub.com know when it's ready. Within 24 hours, it should be at mmsuccesswebinar.com. If you want to go through the slides, I'm going to give you a second to write this down. tinyurl.com/overload slides. And you can get a copy of tonight's presentation. tinyurl.com/overload slides. Again, I appreciate your feedback, your comments on every platform that we're on, whether it be our podcast or our website at MM Help or blog, whatever. And I'll just share this with you. Before I let you go tonight, I mean, I sincerely appreciate your comments. And this is Thursday, I think Monday or Tuesday this week. I talked with an awesome lady that I never had met, who was basically going out of the industry. Just, a type of person that the profession, the industry cannot afford to lose. And just kind of looking at other businesses and saw someone that said on a social media account, and she couldn't remember which one, whether it was Twitter or wherever it was, but they had shared one of our podcasts or products or something, and they said, I would not do anything to build my network marketing business unless it came from the direction of Dale Calvert or something like that. It was very humbling. And she thought to herself, who the heck is Dale Calvert? And she did her investigation, and I'm sure she's on here tonight. So for the last year and a half or so, since we've been doing these webinars, I've been saying, guys, it's important. It's going to be real important moving forward, and it is. And I appreciate it, and I see it, and I don't neglect it, and I don't take it for granted. So I just needed to tell you guys that. Thanks for being with us. Yep, that's the end. I think next week I'm in Kentucky, and I haven't even looked at my schedule for next week. But as I mentioned at the beginning of this year, I'm not going to be doing as many open webinars in 2017 as I have been, because I am doing webinars every Thursday, but some of them are just for specific groups, etc. But I appreciate your support, and thanks for being here. download. You can download the slides, go back and listen to it. And if I ask you 3 weeks from now, what were the two main points that I was trying to communicate tonight, I hope you'll be able to tell me, because if not, you've wasted your time, and your time is the most valuable asset that you have. It's the most valuable asset that you have. So, as I've said many times, the teaching is in the words, but the learning is in the silence. I hope you'll take some time and really, really think about the concepts we've talked about tonight, and I hope they'll be beneficial to you and help you move your business forward in 2017. You guys have an awesome weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.